We had an earthquake in Armenia in 1988, which killed 25,000 people. When the international community responded, there was no coordination amongst teams. It was very, very chaotic.
Teams would arrive, they just chose a spot to work. There was no way to communicate. Something needed to be done.
Mr. President, I have the great honor and the great pleasure to introduce draft resolution on the strengthening of the coordination of humanitarian emergency assistance of the United Nations.
I knew that if I hadn't worked through that night, we would have missed perhaps a year of getting the mandate. And I was thinking of Somalia, I was thinking of the Balkans, and we knew this was the absolutely last chance. And it was only at 1:30 or so in the morning that the parties came back from internal deliberations for an hour or so. And they came into the room and they kept their faces straight, you know. I didn't know whether it was a yes or no. They sat down and then there was the two yeses. And once that happened, there was a spontaneous applause in the room and great relief. And people hugged each other. And we felt in a way that was the end of the Cold War.
46182 for some of us, especially when we were in the field, it's like a Bible. Because when you are deployed in a humanitarian crisis situation, it is sensitive, you have many actors, and there's a lot of confusion. It would be inconceivable to have all these people working together in a coherent manner to have impact on the ground without their being coordinated.
It's tremendously important that OCHA perform a coordinating role so that each of us can concentrate on our own jobs and our own missions.
The resolution created the key instruments for humanitarian coordination. It created the Emergency Relief Coordinator, the IAC, and even OCHA. It provided a way for humanitarians to organize themselves during the crisis response. For example, humanitarians started launching the joint appeals, which we now call humanitarian response plans. But the real strength of the resolution lies in its adaptability. Over the past quarter century, 46182 has changed and evolved based on operational realities. Iraq in 1991, Afghanistan and Iraq in the early 2000s, the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004, the Haitian earthquake of 2010, and now the protracted crisis in Syria. These are all transformative moments in the humanitarian community's response and have resulted in new instruments and systems to respond better, including through the strengthened SURF and now through the Agenda for Humanity.
More than ever, we need to work together to build resilience to global risks such as fragility, conflict, forced displacement, climate change, and pandemics.
The significance of SDG vis-a-vis the humanitarian is that it actually has a fundamental message and that is leaving no one behind.
Probably the most important contribution has been in advocacy, in making sure that humanitarian action remains a key element of the international community's agenda.
We must remember that humanitarianism is not just about assistance, vital as that is. It's also about upholding international humanitarian law. It's political failures that drive so many humanitarian crises.
Resolution 46182 and its guiding principles continue to be vital parts of our license to operate. Moving forward, the Agenda for Humanity gives us the best chance to deliver on our collective promise to reduce and end human suffering.